Coming up on Pet Heroes, a Springer Spaniel puts herself in extreme danger when the life of a young girl is threatened. And if this horse doesn't act fast, its young owner could face the fury of an angry moose.
Hi, I'm Jason McCoy, and welcome to Pet Heroes. These days, our encounters with wild animals are often confined to zoos. So what happens when we and our pets come face to face with surprisingly dangerous and unpredictable animals on their own turf? Let's look at two stories of people and their pets taking a walk on the wild side.
The historic town of Princeton is nestled in a pristine valley in British Columbia's southern interior. It was home to Norma Myers for many years, and she remembers it fondly.
Princeton is a lovely little town. It's beautiful scenery, lots of wildlife, very nice, friendly people. If you like hiking, and if you like canoeing, and if you like swimming, this is the place to live.
Norma's daughter Heather and granddaughter Allie still live in Princeton. Allie is a busy teenager, dividing her time between volunteering and competitive sports. But her real passion is animals.
Good girl. I like dogs a lot. I have a dog right now. She's 5, named Sadie.
Allie's grandma has always had dogs.
I'm a dog person, yeah. I had a little Heinz 57. You know, he's a lovely dog. Then I had a little Shih Tzu, poodle. I have a little Lhasa Apso cross Bichon. I have a Bouvier. And I have West Highland White Terrier. They're all pretty well all rescue dogs.
One of Norma's most remarkable dogs was a Springer Spaniel named Holly, who came into her life in 1998. At 13 years old, Holly was already a senior dog when Norma adopted her.
I'd never had a Springer Spaniel, so I really didn't know too much about the breed. And at first, you know, a new dog, I was new, she didn't know me, I didn't know her. It took a little while for us to bond, but once we bonded, she was just a wonderful little dog.
Allie was just 4 years old when she met Holly, and even now she remembers how special she was.
I was really close to her. I connected with her quickly. She was my best friend when I was little.
In the spring of 1999, Allie is living with her grandma Norma while her mom is away planting trees. It's during this time Allie and Holly become fast friends.
Allie would play watch TV and have her arm around her. She loved Holly. And Holly was really, really good with kids.
Well, Holly was most definitely the center of the family. She held the family together with my being away from home.
When they get tired of kicking around the house, Allie and Holly love going for walks with Grandma Norma. The trails that run along the river and into the woods are Holly's favorite, and just a short drive from Norma's house. But the walk they take today will be one they never forget. It begins like any other, and after making their usual stop to grab root beers, they hit the trails.
Sally was just 4 years old. She runs ahead, you know, looking at this and picking up stones and throwing them into the river. And Holly, of course, was running around and flushing out birds or something. And we walked along, and I think it's about a quarter of a mile, maybe half a mile. And then we came across a bend.
Just around the bend, Allie encounters a deer, a common sight on the trails surrounding Princeton. Only today, something is very wrong. This isn't a typical timid deer, but a hostile, wild animal. Allie immediately senses the danger and becomes frozen with fear.
I remember being like really big and just kind of like coming at me. The way it kind of like looked and the speed it was traveling made it seem more aggressive.
Renowned naturalist Brian Keating has worked closely with wild animals for over 30 years.
We like to think deer are all Bambis, and they are for the most part. But they're Bambis that have been honed by an evolutionary lifetime of being pursued by top-notch predators. With any animal, there is going to be that fight or flight period. So if you get within a certain distance, it's going to be flight. It'll take off if it's a prey species like a deer. But if you somehow cross that threshold and you catch the deer having a bad day or defending perhaps a youngster that's hidden in the bush, then it could be a very different outcome.
The doe is primed to attack Allie.
Allie!
And Norma is too far away to save her.
I said, Allie, come. And I screamed, and Holly came running out of the bush.
Holly rushes toward the deer, taking on an animal 4 times her size to try and save Allie. Coming up, Holly launches a brave attack on the rampaging deer and pays a heavy price. A vicious deer is charging 4-year-old Allie Myers as her grandma Norma watches helplessly too far away to intervene. Allie's only hope is her grandma's dog, Holly.
When I screamed, of course, Holly came, because they know, dogs know, and she was looking after her family, right? And Holly can run faster than, of course, than me, than Allie. And if Holly hadn't got there, Allie would have got it.
Wendy McClellan is a doctor of veterinary medicine, and she's not surprised Holly came running.
Springer Spaniels were originally bred for hunting. They were good at flushing out game and tracking them. They're very alert, so they follow instructions and commands. When Norma called for help, Holly didn't hesitate. She was ready to go. She would see immediately that the little girl was in danger and put herself right in front of her.
Holly gets between Allie and the rampaging deer, allowing Norma to pull Allie out of harm's way. But now Holly is in trouble.
Then she didn't have a chance, because the deer came right down on top of her.
The deer attacks using its powerful front hooves.
Their method of attacking is a stiff-legged downward stroke. Their hooves are very sharp. They've got cloven hooves that have very, very sharp edges, powered by very strong muscles in those legs that are designed for getting away. But if they're forced to fight, if they get within that fight or flight distance and you manage to force them to fight for whatever reason, it can be immediate and lightning fast. And that slashing hoof can create serious damage, broken bones, cut skin, certainly damaged body parts.
Holly struggles to fight off the deer, but it's becoming clear that she doesn't stand a chance.
I had a leash, Holly's leash, and I was trying to hit the deer with it, but didn't even bother. And a deer is just one solid muscle. I couldn't believe how strong they are. So in the meantime, I had this dog laying there bleeding.
Holly!
The deer is relentless as it pummels Holly. Norma can't seem to do anything to scare off this crazed animal. But then she remembers the pop bottle. She hopes that spraying the deer may work, and she's shocked by what happens next. Remarkably, the sound alone scares off the deer.
I shook it, opened it, and went like that, and the deer ran away.
The danger has passed, but Holly is beaten to a pulp. Norma doesn't know if her dog is going to make it, but she knows that she needs to get her some help, and fast.
I knew I couldn't carry her.
And a truck came, and I ran and called it down. And the guy said, what's wrong? I said, my dog was attacked by a deer. He said, holy crow.
The driver quickly loads Holly into the truck, and they race back to Norma's car. They carefully place Holly in the back. Norma is desperate to get Holly some help. Unfortunately, her vet is an hour and a half away in the city of Penticton. Norma calls ahead to her vet, Dr. Harvey, and alerts him to the situation.
I was crying and driving, and I think Allie was, crying too. It was a horrible drive because I didn't know if the dog was going to make it.
After what feels like an eternity, they finally arrive in Penticton.
We got to Dr. Harvey, and of course, I'm shaking so bad when I got in the car. My knees were going, everything out in the car. I said, help me, my dog's in the car.
Norma and Allie wait to hear from Dr. Harvey about Holly's injuries. Finally, he brings them an update.
He came out and he said, we're going to have to do surgery. And this is one of the worst beatings I've ever seen of a dog. She had a broken leg and ligaments and muscles torn. And she had contusions to the head and to the eye, plus on her body. So she was in there for 2 weeks.
Holly is finally able to come home, almost good as new. One eye was damaged in the attack and needs further treatment. But otherwise, she's made a full recovery.
Holly's motivations go back millions of years into the evolution of pack behavior. There's no question that that dog was protecting the pack and came to the pack's rescue. That's what dogs do. When you invite a dog into your family basically becomes a part of the pack.
You were a famous little girl, and so was Holly.
Holly's amazing heroics made news around the world. She was even voted Dog Hero of the Year and awarded for her bravery in a ceremony at the Toronto Dog Hall of Fame.
And there must have been about, 200-300 people in the audience.
2 years later, at the age of 16, Holly passes away. But her amazing heroics and her love for her family will always be remembered.
Holly was a hero by saving me from the deer and from being brave.
For that deer to come at Allie and Holly to rush forward was pretty amazing.
I think it's pretty crazy that Holly was protecting her family, and it was pretty remarkable that I was the one who got trampled.
Well, Holly is a hero to us because she protected us and saved us from injury, and because she loved us so well. She's our hero.
Next on Pet Heroes, a walk in the woods threatens to turn deadly for a young girl and her horse when they come face to face with an angry mother moose. We just saw how a courageous dog named Holly was quick to protect young Allie from a frenzied deer. Next, we meet Shelby Lynn and her trusted steed, Jessie. Shelby Lynn Latimer lives on a farm just outside Mattawa, Ontario.
I like living on the farm because I like being out in the country better than in town. It's really small and friendly.
Shelby lives with her mother, Tamara, older sister, Trista, and younger brother, Alexander. And if there's one thing Shelby loves, it's horses.
You should see her bedroom. There's a million posters all over the place, just horses. Her blankets and pillows and calendars that are ripped up and posted all as posters all over the room. She's crazy.
Shelby had been wanting a pony, and so I had kind of put the word out to people that if you have a pony that you want to get rid of. She came home from school one day and said, oh, there's a little girl, her parents have a horse and a pony that they want to give away. So I called them up and they said, yeah, we have to move, we have to get rid of them. They were perfect for the kids, for Trista and Shelby.
Shelby gets Star, a beautiful little pony. And Jessie, a 22-year-old gelding, will be Trista's.
Shelby was smaller, she had the pony, and Trista had the horse so that they could ride together.
But sadly, after only being with the family a year, Shelby's pony Star passes away.
She was sick when we got her. She had asthma, and it was a cold night, and she died during the night.
Shelby is devastated by the loss of her pony. Tristan knows that horses mean the world to her little sister and decides to give Jessie over to Shelby.
First, we didn't have like that big of a connection because I was just starting to get to know him. I started out, I was walking him, right, and I just brush him and I'd take care of him.
One afternoon, before heading out for a walk, Shelby's mom tells her she'd better take Jessie with her for safety. Shelby has only had Jessie for a few days, and it's the perfect opportunity for the two of them to bond.
Well, you have to tell your kids they have to, number one, let you know when they're going outside. And when they're out walking and that, well, don't go alone.
Shelby and Jessie walk down a quiet little road that runs along the edge of their farm. It's not long before Jessie senses something is up.
When we were a little bit up there, he started not acting up, but like he'd put his ears up and he'd put his head up, but he'd make like a kind of a snorting noise.
Shelby quickly discovers what has rattled her horse.
There was like a rustle in the bush, and out came this little moose. It was a baby moose, but it wasn't little. It was a big moose for being a baby. It came out onto the road about where the grass is in the road, and it came out and it kind of stopped and looked at us. And then Jesse, he started swinging his head and pawing, and it kind of ran away into the trees over there.
Moose are normally very shy. They're solitary animals. They don't like to be around us, and they'll avoid letting themselves be seen if they can.
Jessie successfully scares off the baby moose, but the real danger still awaits.
I was about to turn around and walk away when the mom moose came out, and she was huge.
Not only is this moose huge, it's furious.
Like any animal defending its young, a moose will put a lot of energy into ensuring that that young is safe. She'll always be within a certain area of that moose, but if she perceives a threat, she'll be there very, very quickly.
I was completely froze from seeing the moose. I was just froze. I was like, oh my God, because I thought I was gonna die. She was like 7 feet tall, and I was really small. And so I froze. And Jesse, he stopped doing everything he was doing, like pawing and snorting. He stopped doing everything. And he took a couple steps forward and then stood kind of on an angle, like in front of me.
Horses interact through body language. That horse would have definitely perceived a negative body language from that moose and would have interpreted it as danger. And that horse obviously interpreted the child as part of the horse's herd. Otherwise, the horse just would have left.
The moose has started to advance on Shelby, but Jessie is quick to react. After shielding a terrified Shelby from the danger, Jessie does something even more valiant.
He was standing there all calm, and all of a sudden he slapped himself, kind of with his lips, on his side. And I kind of took that as a gesture to get on, we have to leave.
Without the help of a saddle, Shelby struggles to get on Jessie.
So I just kind of threw the lead rope over Jesse's neck, and I jumped with all my might. He was standing like this, and he just kind of spun and then took off that way, like straight home.
The moose was making moves, at least threatening moves, towards the child and the horse. And so it may have been an instinctual behavior for that horse to encourage that child to beat it from that location.
Shelby and Jessie leave the aggressive mother moose in the dust.
I looked behind me, and she wasn't running behind us, but she was kind of like taking little, fast steps. She was still flailing her head and making the snorting noise. And she kind of stopped somewhere around we were standing, and she didn't follow us far, but Jesse, he just kept running and running and running, and there was no stopping him. Well, I was really, I was scared because it was faster than he's ever ran before, right? So, and I was flailing everywhere as he's running, so I was kind of pumped about that. But yet I was so scared because there was this 7 foot tall moose could have killed me.
Shelby makes it back to her mom, shaken but eager to tell her frightening story.
Initially, when I saw Shelby coming back to the house, I was upset because she was galloping, and you're not supposed to gallop back to the house. But when Shelby came in the driveway, I saw her face, and she was like, "Mom, Mom, Mom," and she's, I guess, kind of scared and excited and just, wow, you know, look what just happened.
Shelby's mom is surprised and grateful to learn that Jessie, a horse her daughter barely knew, had saved her life.
I am beyond happy I had Jessie with me. Because if I hadn't have, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
Shelby and Jessie are best friends. Everything she does is about Jessie. Her Facebook is about Jessie. Jessie's her world right now. But he waited for her and defended her, so yeah, I think he's a hero. I'm glad he was there.
Jesse's a hero, really, for not giving in to his prey instinct to bolt. There was nothing stopping him from saving himself, so he was a hero for sticking around until she got on and he could take them both to safety.
I think Jesse saved my life, because I probably would have died if he wasn't there. Jesse is a hero. He's my hero.
Many of us enjoy spending time in the great outdoors, but we're often unprepared for close encounters with wild animals. Luckily, our pets are more in tune with their instincts and are willing to come to our aid. Jessie's quick and decisive action helped prevent a disaster when Shelby Lynn found herself in dangerous proximity to an aggressive mother moose. And despite her small size, Holly didn't hesitate to put herself between Allie and a rampaging deer, a decision that almost cost her life, but saved her young friend. For more information, visit cmt.ca/petheroes.